Miss Emily Grierson died, our whole town went to her funeral. The men threw a sort of respectful affection for a fallen monument, the women mostly out of curiosity to see the inside of her house. It was a big, squarish frame house that had once been white, decorated with lights and spires, with the servants' quarters and a pond. Alive, Miss Emily had been a tradition, a duty and a care, a sort of hereditary obligation upon the town. The mayor remitted her taxes, the dispensation dating from the death of her father on into perpetuity. He invented and involved a tale to the effect that Miss Emily's father had loaned money to the town, which the town, as a matter of business, preferred this way of repaying. On the first of the year, they mailed her a tax notice. February came, and there was no reply. They wrote her a formal letter, asking her to call the sheriff's office at her convenience. A week later, the mayor wrote her himself, offering to call or to send his car for her, and received in reply a note on a paper of an archaic shape, in a thin, flowing calligraphy in faded ink, to the effect that she no longer went out at all. The tax notice was also enclosed, without comment. Later, a deputation waited upon her and knocked at the door. They were admitted by the servant into a room which smelled of dust and disuse. They could see that the couch leather was cracked, and on the chest stood a portrait of Miss Emily's father.
I have no taxes in Jefferson. Perhaps one of you can gain access to the city records if you need to satisfy yourselves.
But we have. See, we are the city authorities, Miss Emily. Didn't you get a notice by the sheriff signed by him?
I have received the paper, yes, but he calls himself the sheriff. I have no taxes in Jefferson.
But there is nothing in the books to show that. See, we have to go by the...
See Colonial Sartorius. I have no taxes in Jefferson.
But Miss Emily...
See Colonial Sartorius. I have no taxes in Jefferson. Tara, show these gentlemen out.
After her father's death, she went out very little. After her sweetheart went away, people hardly saw her at all. The only sign of the life about the place was the servant going in and out with a market basket. It got about that the house was all that was left to her, and in a way people were glad. The day after his death, all the ladies prepared to call the house and offer condolence and aid. Miss Emily met them at the door just as usual, with no trace of grief on her face. She told them that her dad was not dead. She did that for 3 days, with the ministers calling on her and the doctors trying to persuade her to let them dispose of the body. Just as they were about to resort to law and force, she broke down, and they took her father quickly. The town had just let the contracts for paving the sidewalks, and in the summer, after her father's death, they began the work. The construction company came with a foreman named Homer Byron, and pretty soon he knew everybody in town. Presently, we began to see him and Miss Emily on Sunday afternoons. She carried her head high enough, even when we believed she was fallen. It was as if her dignity had wanted that touch of earthiness to reaffirm her imperviousness. Like when she bought that rat poison, the arsenic. That was over a year after they had begun to say, "Poor Emily."
I want some poison.
Yes, Miss Emily. What kind? For rats and such? I would recommend...
I don't care. Give me the best you have.
Well, they'll kill anything up to an elephant, so which one are you preferring?
Arsenic? Is that a good one?
It's arsenic. But what do you want it for?
I want arsenic.
But by law, it tells me that you need to tell me what you're going to use it for. Okay, so you're gonna get arsenic. All right. There you go, Miss Emily. Here's your arsenic. Have a great day, ma'am.
When she had first begun to be seen with Homer Byron, we had said she will marry him, yet that he was not a marrying man. So we were not surprised when Homer Byron was gone. However, within 3 days, he was back in town. A neighbor saw the servant admit him at the kitchen door at dusk one evening, and that was the last we saw of Homer Byron and Miss Emily for some time. From that time on, her front door remained closed, save for a period of 6 or 7 years. Daily, monthly, yearly, we watched the servant grow grayer, going in and out with the market basket. Each December, we sent her a tax notice, which would be returned by the post office a week later unclaimed. And so she fell ill in the house, filled with dust and shadows, with only a doddering servant to wait on her. We did not even know she was sick. We had long since given up trying to get any information from the servant. She died in one of the downstairs rooms, in an oversized chair, her head propped on a pillow. The servant met the first of the ladies at the front door and let them in, with their hushed, sibilant voices and their quick, curious glances, and then she disappeared. She walked right through the house and out the back and was not seen again. The two female cousins came at once. Already we knew that there was one room in that region above the stairs which no one had seen in 40 years, and which would have to be forced. They waited until Miss Emily was decently in the ground before they opened it. A thin, acrid pall, as of the tomb, seemed to lie everywhere upon this room, upon the window-sills, upon the nightstand, and among them lay a coat and a tie, as if it had just been removed, collecting dust upon the bed-box. The man himself lay in the bed, or what was left of him, rotted beneath what was left of the nightshirt, and had become inextricable from the bed in which he lay. Then we noticed that in the second pillow was an indentation of a head. One of us lifted something from it and leaned forward. That faint and invisible dust, dry and acrid in the nostrils, we saw a long strand of iron gray hair.
Dad. Mark it. Mark it. Does that really work for you, huh? You're trying to pick up the girl.
Shaking.